Hello everybody and welcome back to the Gamepodular Twitch channel. I am your host, bathed in radiant magnificence, Seskra, and joining me as ever in jolly cooperation is my co-host Hilke. How are you doing today, Hilke?
Not bathed in radiant magnificence, I'll tell you that much.
Get on my level, scrub.
Closed.
If you enjoy what we do around here, because we are going to get into some randomizer nonsense, please feel free to throw us money over on patreon.com/gamepodular or on ko-fi.com/gamepodular. And of course, if you know us, you probably know us, if not from this, then from our podcast, which you can check out over on our website, gamepodular.com, or on youtube.com/@gamepodular, or your podcast app of choice if you go searching for it. And the VOD for this stream, if you happen to catch it later on, along with highlight reels, will be over on youtube.com/@gamepodular streams highlights. Or as some would prefer that it was called @Gamepodular. I'm gonna try my best to let it go, but it was such a better name, Hilke. I don't know why we went with the long one. Yes, we're gonna get into it today. Over in the old fungal wastes.
Right, yes. On this stream, the chat is in the bottom left. I was looking at the video and I was like, what's going on? Where did the chat go? Hi, Chloe.
Chloe. Hey, Chloe, how you doing?
I knew I recognized the username.
What?
The lack of first-time chatter, the lack of first-time chatter also an indicator.
Yep. So, you might remember, the fungal waste is not where we left off last time, exactly.
Yes.
That's because in between last stream and now, I did some, just some research around the map, what can I do, what options do we have? Because at the end of the last stream, things were looking a little, slim in terms of options that weren't miserable. And I have good news and bad news.
Okay.
Which one would you like first?
Oh, see, the last time you told me about this, you said you had good news, good news, and bad news. And I think the joke I made was I would like the second good news first.
You expect me to remember the order in which those went? I told you that like a week ago.
Let's just go for good news then.
Alright, so the good news, I found multiple places we can go that are not miserable, that should have a good number of checks.
And the bad news?
The bad news is I died finding out this information. Many Bothans died to bring us this information. And my ghosty spawned in an area I cannot get to.
Oh.
And I don't know if Gigi works the way she normally does under this rule set, so until further notice, I'm just gonna assume that I don't have access to my ghosty, which means we're working with a reduced soul meter at the moment.
That's rough.
A little bit, but we'll manage.
Hi, Mr. Omega. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, Mega. Gonna start cooking something nice, yeah.
We got multiple cooks in the chat today, given that it is the afternoon here in jolly old Europe. I have not done any cooking today yet, although I did have some very delicious lunch. I went outside just for a walk and then realized, oh right, I'm out of deodorant, and so I walked to the grocery store with no grocery bag, like you do, and bought deodorant, some wraps, and some blood oranges.
Nice.
And some donuts.
I think the UN prefers the term conflict oranges.
It's wild. I went to a grocery store that's not my usual one, but is a lot closer, and I am so used to blood oranges being a thing I have to buy at a specialty store, but no, they were just with the rest of the fruits and vegetables.
That's where they would be. So this jump I just made, yeah, that's a jump we couldn't, you'll notice I couldn't actually make the jump, but because I had the wall jump, I was able to sort of like scramble up anyway. Which means I have very exciting news. We can visit our 4th and final shopkeep.
Ooh. Oh, that counts as a bench. Love that.
My charm, what did you do to it? The smell, different, strange, but nice, very nice. Oh, he's talking about the charms that got upgraded. Because that apparently is a higher priority than the "Hi, I'm meeting you for the first time" dialogue. That smell talks to me. Someone somewhere very nice. His name is Leg Eater. Don't ask why. Don't try to sneak past me. I can smell you. You collect a lot of Geo. Give you Geo, you can see something nice. Yeah, this dude charges you for the privilege of checking out his wares.
I think my favorite thing like that comes from Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, where most, if not all, of the shopkeeps have like a selection of items, and then you can fight them to get like their best item as an availability.
Okay, so we essentially have free money, so get that. Can't hurt. And he's also selling the Shape of Oon, which it's niche, but can help with some of the harder boss fights, especially if we need to do them early. I'll show that off in just a sec. And then he's got a very overpriced Hallownest seal.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, was hoping for a little bit more, but this is why we have backup options. And yeah, let me swap around the charms for a sec so you can see that. Here we go. So yeah, reveals the form of Oon within the bearer. While focusing soul, the bearer will take on a new shape and can move freely to avoid enemies. So yeah, it lets you move while healing, which is legitimately very useful. It also looks very silly.
A new form.
Yes, you become a little slug friend.
Colonel, I'm trying to sneak around, but the shape of my Oon is attracting the guards.
So, okay. As a shopkeep, that was a little bit disappointing, but if memory serves, there is a tiny bit more check-wise around here. Oh, at this point...
I'm curious, folks in chat, what are we cooking today? I always love hearing about food. Also, not to, like, hijack the stream a little bit, but if any of you have a cottage pie recipe that you swear by, I'm all ears, because there's so many of them out there, and I want a good one.
I know somebody who has an excellent cottage pie recipe, but she's working at the moment, unfortunately, so she will not be joining us. Gotta get over to the red sets. Just there we go. Whoop.
What am I cooking tonight? Decided yet. Got some tomatoes.
Alright, that's just the healing station.
Oh yeah, I've got salmon. I should make that today.
And we have a spot to mark for the downward dash. There we go. Can't use it yet, but we'll get there. Alright, so that's our first potential branch cleared out.
We're back in the Forgotten Crossroads.
Yep, because I couldn't make this jump. And I still can't, but, you know, we just went the other way. So now, we get to go over to the City of Tears, because the last place we really sort of checked out prior to coming here was the Soul Sanctum.
Yeah.
Where we kind of hit a wall. It turned out pretty hard to get through there if you don't have the right setup. I think I want city storerooms, actually, yeah. And I have a theory on how to get through there.
a game theory, if you will.
Stop that.
So you won't, is what you're telling me.
Indeed, I will not. Like, if they didn't pay for sponsorship, then we're not going to make that joke.
I also don't know if they're around anymore. I think MatPat retired from YouTube at the very least.
I mean, that probably just means he's moved on to Twitch. That's what a lot of YouTubers end up doing these days, but yeah. There we go. That's a
Yeah,
little
I wonder
better.
what that's like.
We're still on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on both.
Mm-hmm. Both is good. Let's see. Yeah.
I know it was definitely a joke going around at the time, but do you think, like, the previous Pope ever played that copy of Undertale that MatPat gave him before he died? I assume not, right? Like,
Did the previous Pope die? Like, that was the Pope that retired, right? Is he actually dead now?
I thought he died.
Pope John Paul died. Then we got, like, his replacement, who retired and was the first Pope to retire instead of dying in, like, God knows how many years. Pun intended. So, my theory.
Oh.
Pro gamer moment.
No, yeah, Pope Francis, he died the 21st of April, 2025, the same day his papacy ended.
Sorry, yes, I forgot for a second about the Chicago Pope. We're on the fourth Pope in my lifetime.
Yes.
Let's see if I can.
I believe in you.
That one, not.
Oh, you got it. It happened just for a second. It's like 2 frames. Oh, let's go.
Messy, but we got there. Still can't attack to the right, but we'll make do.
Oh, hello. Yeah, we now have a Pope who is a Cubs fan, right?
Yes. I mean, he's from Chicago. If he wasn't, I think he would be dead by now.
I have very few thoughts on sports. I do have someone who lives in my building who is from Manchester, but his favorite football team is Arsenal. Like, imagine being a fan of Manchester United.
Ugh.
I know I just said I have very few opinions on professional sports. I have one friend who's into football. Coincidentally, also an Arsenal fan. Much like Sebastian Moran in Elementary. Because that's who you really want to compare your friends to.
Tellurian. Okay, that's one of the 3 watchers we need in order to get to the Temple of the Black Eggs. Like, that's actual plot progress. Which is kind of really bad, because that means the crossroads are now no longer the Forgotten Crossroads. They're the infected crossroads.
Yucky. To answer the question from one of the first Sum 41 albums, yes.
I believe that I'm willing to be wrong about this. I think that was their first full-length album. Like, 20-Minute Power Hour was just their EP.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. On the one hand, I haven't thought about Sum 41 in a while. On the other hand, I know I'm wearing their shirt like next week. All Killer No Filler looks like it was their first full-length album.
Ah, yes, sorry. Does This Look Infected was their second one,
yeah. It's hard to say about Half Hour of Power, because it is 11 songs long, but 4 of the songs are shorter than 2 minutes, 2 of which are shorter than 1 minute even. I could just Wikipedia this. I have the power.
We have the technology. Alright, let's...
Wikipedia calls it an EP.
Alright. And as we all know, Wikipedia is never wrong, especially not when it comes to music.
I'll take Wikipedia over most other sources. I have a recurring monthly donation to Wikipedia instead of like. Which does make it very funny, because like I don't have a Wikipedia account. So I do still get the occasional, like, Wikipedia needs your help. Please donate now. Things sometimes where I'm like, you have no way of knowing that I do this, but I do this. And I appreciate you not, like, tracking my IP address to not send me these messages.
Let's see. Yeah, okay. This is the place where you would normally get the downward dive spell, hence why there's, you know, a bunch of stuff related to that.
Yes.
Is that all of them? I think that's all of them. It's probably not all of them.
Round 2. White. I was watching a movie last night.
Out of character for you. Resting Grounds map. Okay. That's
Not the most exciting.
not the most, but marginally useful. Oh, you bastard.
I mean, genuinely, I do watch a lot more TV than I do movies. But I like me some movies. I was watching Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
By choice?
Yeah, that movie rules.
Okay, clap your hands twice if somebody is making you do this.
I mean, like, it's no like deep exploration of the human condition, but it's called the Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Yes.
What do you want from it? It has some very weird, like, shall we say, interpretations of American history, and just the most amazingly bonkers action scenes I've seen in a while. And it's by the director of Wanted, which is just a really good movie. Also with really good action scenes.
Sometimes good people who make good movies also make bad movies.
Yeah.
I believe you that it is good, but it's just like, you're just the first person I've heard mention that movie in any context in however long it's been since the movie came out.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Probably the funniest thing about it is it came out in 2012, 2013, thereabouts. And so there were very obvious moments where it was like, look, this movie was made to be in 3D.
Yeah.
We're gonna shove stuff really close to the camera. And that was kind of embarrassing as a cultural relic.
See, also that era in Hollywood, a little tiny bit after, when like every American like Hollywood movie had random cameos by Chinese actors to appeal to the market in China.
Speaking of movies that did well in China, I posted about this on Blue Sky previously. Like, the local like movie theater, like the big chain one, is just playing the Warcraft movie again for its 10-year anniversary.
I was gonna joke, like, speaking of movies in China, like Warcraft, because that was weirdly popular in China, but yeah.
Yeah, and like, who are these hypothetical fans of the Warcraft movie who want to see it in theaters again?
There is a check there, but I cannot get to it.
No.
Yeah, okay, that's
Like,
that's not happening. All right.
I considered being what I assume to be one of the 3 people who goes to see it in 2026. But I decided I couldn't live with myself buying tickets to see that movie twice, because I saw it when it came out. I went with a friend, the same friend who's an Arsenal fan, incidentally, who was like, hey, Hilka, I don't know anything about Warcraft. You do. Let's go watch this movie, and then afterwards you can explain to me what happened. Just as a fun thing to do with friends, you know?
10 for Deepness, 12 for Charm Much, okay. Yeah, okay, and then this is, yeah, okay, that is the Steel Soul person. So, okay, I briefly was just checking in there to see if Gigi would react at all. It doesn't look like she has, which...
Bummer.
Yeah. Alright, so that's...
What happens if you die again?
It's fine. I don't get, like, a game over or anything, per se, but if I die this time, then all the Geo I lost from my original Ghosty... Like, right now, if I get my Ghosty back, I get the money back that I had when I died. If I die a second time, that money is gone forever, and that's the only real sort of permadeath punishment.
Yeah, but does your Ghosty move?
That's an excellent question, and honestly, I don't care enough about this money to not test that theory. Because, yeah, this would open up options, is the thing. Like, I lost my Ghosty doing some testing for a sneaky little tactic that might come in handy. So, here we go. Money is lost.
I did see the Ghosty appear. In retrospect, we could have, like, I know you say you don't really care about that money, but we could have put it in the bank just in case. Hey!
I mean, if I killed this Ghosty, then I get this money back. Just the money I had when I originally died would have been lost. There we go. Okay, so we have our Ghosty back. That's very good news, because what I was testing when I originally died was I was trying to set up what's called a ghost skip, which is you have a jump that you can't make, so you try to die in that area to leave behind your Ghosty so that you can pogo off your Ghosty.
Okay.
It's a great trick when it works, but it requires your Ghosty to, you know... I didn't count on my Ghosty appearing in a place so far out of the way that I couldn't even reach it.
Yeah.
And I was trying to do that in order to get into Mantis Village, which, yeah, is not really an option for us at the moment with the way that this is set up. So,
I am very glad that I, as someone who doesn't know a lot about this game, was able to contribute.
you did a thing. Let's see here. Because, yeah, now that Ghosty is back on the table again, that needs some reappraisal of options. I'm going to check my notes here to see what all of the things went. Egg, cyclone slash, map, egg, seal. Right, yes. Remember how I said I had good news and bad news and good news and bad news?
Yes, I do, demonstrably. There's footage and everything.
So, good
What's
news.
the good news and bad news for this?
So, good news. I know where the Desolate Dive magic spell is.
And the bad news?
The bad news is I know where it is. It's not this. This is just a thing I forgot to buy. This is just a Wanderer's Journal. Sure, I'll buy that. Contribute to one of my bingo goals, but no. The bad news... You can clearly see the desolate dive that it's holding, but for some reason you get the feeling you're going to have to go through an unnecessarily long gauntlet of spikes and saw blades just to pick it up. Yep.
Is this a very famous path by any chance?
It is not the Path of Pain. Path of Pain is not included in this randomizer, at least not normally. But it is the White Palace itself normally, and right now, I cannot get in there. You need a certain amount of essence in your Dream Nail in order to get there. And we're a good chunk of the way there. I think you need either 2100 or 2400. Either way, we're over halfway there, but we still need a lot more.
Okay.
So, we'll have to come back to that. I am now going to go over to another place that could potentially benefit from a ghosty skip, depending on how it goes. Ghosty skips are going to be a good chunk of the strategy going forward, because cards on the table, I was really hoping that Soul Sanctum and Leg Eater were going to net us a little bit more. And they have come up kind of short, but okay. Rest here. Make sure I have the right loadout, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, this is not the right loadout.
I have been watching a couple videos on speedrunning recently. Specifically because it's YouTube and it loves to promote negativity, like cheating speedrunners.
Mm-hmm.
There was one apparently famous example of, his name was Cody something, who went to one of the who was like a world record holder in Halo Combat Evolved speedruns. And he went to Ann Games Done Quick. I don't remember. It was like one of the very first ones to do a Halo Combat Evolved speedrun. And he was not nearly as good as he claimed to be. Basically, most if not all of his world records were just fraudulent, trust me, bro. Because this was like the early days of the internet.
Right.
And so he got to Games Done Quick and just like over the course, like he gave his expected time of like, yeah, I can beat Halo Combat Evolved in like on Legendary in like 2-ish hours.
Mm-hmm.
He hit over 4 hours. Did basically none of the speedrunning tricks correctly, and lowered the difficulty twice.
That's a big oof.
Yeah. Oh no, not again. Is this the exact same thing that happened last time?
Yep. The thing is, if you get close enough to your ghosty, it should, like, register your presence. Like, maybe it's an eyeline thing, but... yeah, I don't think I can get up there. Alright. So...
what if you just die, like, slightly less close to that ledge? Like, is the proximity that precise?
That's a good question, worth examining. Yeah, possibly we died too far over in the corner. So... yeah. And at this point, I'm going to consider money entirely optional. Like, money is good if you have something that's worth buying, and we don't at the moment.
Yeah. You're right, Omega. Like, it is a very fascinating topic. There was another one where it was like, this was a more recent one of, like, a Russian speedrunner who, like, he did his speedrun of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Like, it was fine, you know? It was, like, 2 minutes under, or 2 minutes over the world record, which was not, you know, great, but it was still a very worthy speedrun. But there was like, if the audience could raise, I think it was like $25,000 in a certain amount of time, he would also speedrun the Mecha Dog DLC. And he literally just... damn it.
Bummer.
You know, it's worth a try. Mm-hmm. He genuinely just... he was so upset that his speedrun wasn't, like, good enough in his eyes and only his eyes, that he edited together a speedrun. Like, he had just this edited video of a speedrun of the DLC that he just screen shared and pretended he was playing. And one of the main ways he got found out was someone else who was really familiar with the game was like, hey, there's a tutorial, there's like a checkpoint message that should be here that isn't here. There's no way, given what he did, that should happen.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on. This is spliced together.
All right, I have another candidate for the ghosty. It'll be a good one if the ghosty is willing to cooperate.
Yeah.
So, okay. Oh, no, can't do Kingdom's Edge, actually, because we need to go from King's Station. There we go. Actually, I just realized there's an argument for doing this right here. If I can reach those spikes, which I'm not sure I can. No, okay, cannot. Ooh, the blinking cycles, yeah.
Wow.
I vaguely remember hearing about that.
I love, honestly, like, speedrun cheating is a very fascinating topic, but I find speedruns in general to be a very fascinating topic. Because, like, I consider myself a little bit of a generalist when it comes to video games. Like, the game, I think I talked about this on stream yesterday, but the game I would say I am best at is Monster Hunter. But I don't really have any games where I'm like, I know this game inside and out. I'm so good at it because I play a wide variety of games instead of one game for thousands of hours, you know?
There's no rule saying you can't do both.
The number of hours in the day begs to differ. I guess that's not a rule, it's more a resource. But anyway, so like I find the people who know games so well that they can do things like literally play Mario 64 blindfolded and get like a new record in a 70-star run of that game is just kind of mind-bogglingly amazing to me, honestly.
I should not have killed that aphid. I should have let him up here in order to make this pogo. Gotcha. Okay, we'll do a quick little warp back again. At least this is a pretty short walk.
That is a good point, Omega, that like you could never play some games casually, so you don't even want to start. I kind of feel the same way about that, because it is a very different way of looking at games, right?
Mm-hmm. See, also randomizers. I know people who have played Ocarina of Time, like, hundreds of times, of which 2 were vanilla playthroughs.
Yeah.
There we go. Hop, hop, hop. Yep. Let's see how far your roaming range goes. Goes against every instinct in my body to not kill these things, but we gotta.
Yeah. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. So far, so good, but we need them to come here as well. It's okay if I don't, because I'm trying to get my ghosty up here is the thing.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, trust me, I did look into this in the downtime. Getting up here, not that hard with their help. Getting them in position to pogo up from there, very hard. So, I'm hoping I can make this into a ghosty skip.
The one thing I dislike about speedrunning strategies being so, and I admit this is a very niche example what I'm about to bring up, being so accessible nowadays, is games that have like leaderboards for like not necessarily communal but like shared activities. I'm specifically talking about like the Luigi balloon hunts in Super Mario Odyssey, where like you set a start point and an end point and like travel to that endpoint, and then it gets uploaded to the servers, and other people like have to try and get that. There's just so many of those out there that are, for most people, just impossible.
I mean,
because
yeah, that's the Mario Maker Kaizo mindset.
Yeah.
Oh, Ghosty is here. That's not actually where I expected to find it, but okay. And its roaming range is also not as big. Alright, this is a little bit... Alright, get a tiny bit of health. Yeah, okay. Theoretically, I could try luring them over. With 2 of them, it's not impossible, but it's iffy. It's tricky. And I'm trying to think if there's better candidates. At the very least, I should get my Ghosty back. Like, for realsies this time. Yeah. I think there are potentially essence trees I could do with the Ghosty trick, but the ones that we know of, we know the rewards don't really warrant that.
Yeah, they're not very exciting.
Alright, so we'll get these, and then we'll look into other options, because... Whoop. Trying to think of what else to do here. I can't die in dream worlds. I'll just, like, leave the dream and come back, so I can't do ghosty skips in order to get to the failed champion.
Can you theoretically lead these flying things far enough that you don't need the ghosty to get up there?
It's very hard. Their roaming range does... The way they roam, they do not really like going up there into that corner. I'll see if I can demonstrate for you.
You don't have to if you don't want to, I believe it. But,
I mean, there's a chance that we'll just get it here. But yeah, like, I need to get up to that ridge on the right, because I can only wall jump from the right. Yeah, that was like the best shot I would have had at it, and it didn't work. With both of them here, it's not impossible, but it's a tall order. So, put that on the maybe pile.
Continues my theory that just the left Mantis Claw would be just a game changer for us.
It would be a pretty big deal, yeah. Rusting Grounds right now doesn't have anything I can reach because I can't downward dash. And I can't left Mantis Claw, and I can't circumvent anything else that way. Crystal Peak, best of my knowledge right now, completely inaccessible. I have a potential candidate, depending on how much it feels like cooperating. Because one of our more successful strategies has been hitting big levers from the wrong side thanks to the charge slash.
Yeah.
And I can think of at least one more switch like that, which might be available for persuasion. Percussive persuasion, you understand.
Yes. The classic 1990s tech support problem.
It is pretty far, and yeah, even with the nail extension charm, that isn't going to reach. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, that one's out. But we might have another one. It's minor, but it could be an option.
I feel like I already made this joke on the last stream, but City of Tears is a great name for an album. Like, I don't think it's a band, I think it's an album.
I can see it. Gonna have to clear my head. We'll be back soon. If you have something you absolutely must sell, come find me in Fountain Square. Alright, Lem does do that. It's not like a recurring thing, it's just a little character trait. Like, he just gets a bit lonely and, like, bored in his own office because I'm his only customer, so he comes here. What are you doing out in this miserable downpour? Impressive fountain, isn't it? Sure I'll be able to appreciate it more if we weren't both getting drenched. That night up there was an important one. The plaque mentions its sacrifice, which carries something of an ominous tone. Probably met some horrible end, though it sounds like the goals may have been achieved in the process. Yeah. But okay, for realsies, the thing we were looking to do here is over on the right. Yeah, normally this is a jump I can't make without a double jump and a wall climb. If I can get a ghosty up here... Oh, I have an idea on how to do that. Okay, I can just damage myself, and then the final blow can be up there, yeah. There we go. Let's see if this works.
Not to make this stream like entirely just recycling my posts from Blue Sky, but
hey, you care about the environment. You recycle your jokes.
Exactly. I was thinking yesterday because I was thinking about young adult fiction.
Why?
And how the like YA dystopian subgenre was like huge for a while. And before that, I think there was also just like general YA like supernatural fiction, your Vampire Academies, your Twilights, your Beastlies.
You made that one up. Don't lie to me.
They made a movie starring Jennifer Hudson, not Hudson. She's, oh God, what's her name? She's from High School Musical.
Why would I know that? Let's see if our ghost is in the right place.
Beastly film. Vanessa Hudgens.
Oh,
That's it.
yeah. Come on.
So close.
Can I write that one?
I see the vision.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that one down because it doesn't seem impossible. City Ghosty Pogo. All right.
Yeah, so Vanessa Hudgens and Alex Pettyfer, who the film industry really tried to give like the Roman Reigns push of being a teen movie star for a while. He was in like I Am Number 4, Beastly, Stormbreaker, the first in the Alex Rider series. And I was wondering why, like, Animorphs hasn't been brought back to that degree yet, right? Because they had a TV show in the 90s that was not very good.
I had the first 2 episodes on VHS.
Here is a list of people who was in that show who still have, like, notable careers now. Sean Ashmore. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tragic when Christopher Ralph, who was in that show and has a Wikipedia page, does list his role of Tobias in the television series Animorphs as his best, perhaps his best known role. I mean, he's been in a bunch of stuff I've watched, but I watch a lot of Canadian television, so, like, it's not really a surprise. Do I remember this specific episode of Republic of Doyle? No, I do not. But I've watched the whole show, so I've definitely seen it. But yeah, like, Percy Jackson, it got, like, a big, like...
They got
big
multiple
budget
movies.
Yeah, and it has, like, a currently ongoing, like, big budget Disney Plus series. It's apparently very good. I haven't seen a lot of it. Movies are ass. They're so bad, especially the second one. But yeah, I'm just surprised that Animorphs hasn't gotten the big budget TV series treatment yet, because it is like one of the big ones from that time.
I think that might be the issue. It's too big. Do you have any idea how many books there are?
There's like 50-ish, I think.
Yeah. And that's a lot. A lot.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let myself die here so I can get my ghosty back. Because, yeah, I was hoping that pit of acid could be ghostable. It was not. So, get this. Hello, sir. There we go. Honestly, it's very liberating not caring about money anymore. I can see what the Buddha was on about with that.
On a completely unrelated note, patreon.com/Gamepodular. I did, for those of you watching who are members of the Patreon, I did a couple days ago write a post about Apple's cool and good decision to screw over Patreon users.
Mm-hmm.
The basic gist of it is they tried this last year as well and changed their minds on it, but they want everyone on Patreon to move to a subscription billing model, which, to be honest, doesn't really affect us that much. It, like, the main thing it changes is previously you could, like, the default for Patreon is that you would be billed at the first of the month, and then when this goes away, you'll just be billed, like, on whatever day you signed up every month. That's really the only change for us. But there are people on Patreon who offer, like, yearly subscriptions or per work payment instead of per month payments.
That one's much bigger, yes. That's gonna be a much bigger deal.
And yeah. And Apple is basically holding Patreon's, like, Apple App Store app update. Good God, that was surprisingly hard to say. Hostage until they, like, change it.
I'm sorry, Hyuga, could you repeat that? Because it sounded like they're holding one of the members of the Black Eyed Peas hostage.
Though, speaking of the Black Eyed Peas, which is not a sentence I say very often, and also wrestling. I know, spoilers for the Royal Rumble, I suppose, which happened last night in good old Saudi Arabia. Fun fact, in a stadium that was built in like 35 days out of mostly scaffolding. The man now formerly known as Powerhouse Hobbs debuted in WWE.
And I'm happy for him.
And he has, like, a shockingly reasonable name. Royce Keys.
Would that happen to be his real name, perchance?
It is not.
Fair enough.
His real name is William Hobson.
Right, it is, yeah. Oh, Willie
But
Hobbs.
the reason that it's Black Eyed Peas related is he had a very short-lived name of Will I Is.
Which is funny, but also... yeah. Thank you, Chloe. Apparently, it's his son's name.
It is a tribute to his youngest son Royce and his late mother's maiden name Keys.
Cool. I was thinking there was a way into the Queen's Gardens from here, but I must be misremembering that. Okay, yeah, we've not been there. Resting Grounds, yeah, Kingdom's Edge. Basin, we've been, and that ghosty isn't cooperating. But there are other nooks and crannies in the basin, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend like I'm not going to miss him in AEW.
I enjoyed him there, yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm hoping he reaches a higher ceiling in WWE, even though I fear he might not.
There we go.
Because of the way the company is, basically. Like, I definitely... We were talking about this, like, the week before he left. Like, we both were like, I could see him holding the World Championship in, like, a year or two. You know, we were both really high on Hobbs.
I think he has what it takes. I think the only thing he was missing at the time was just the, like, necessary build.
Yeah.
Not physically, like, because that man is built like a brick shithouse that ate another brick shithouse. Sorry for the swear, but...
Yeah. And, like, the sort of problem is also that, like, he's very good, but the AEW main event scene is so stacked with, like, Swerve, Osprey, Hangman, Omega, like...
Right, we got here. Yeah, got this. Came back down around.
Just everyone who's involved in the world title storyline right now, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Andrade.
Then I think... Right, yeah, there's a downward dash. Ow. Yeah, right
These
there.
exploding bugs are just the worst.
They're very rude, you're not wrong. Alright, so this is all accounted for.
Remind me, these are the things that also do 2 points of damage.
Correct, they do double damage. Let's see.
Just to make it the complete kick to the groin.
Mm-hmm. Going up from here right now will be pointless. Okay. What options do we have here? Howling Cliffs are accounted for except for the tree, and we know the tree isn't anything to write home about. I'm going to go back to the city and try that ghosty skip again, because right now I feel like that's our best bet.
Okay. We'll try that one more time, and then we should take a break, because we're almost at the top of the hour.
Yeah. Alright, let's make sure I got my loadout right. Yeah, Mark of Pride. Ore no pride desu ne. Yeah, nothing here that would assist us otherwise. Is this the right place to spawn into? It is the closest, yeah, okay. Trying to think, because we have gotten a couple checks today so far. What did we get again?
Yes.
We got
a rancid egg.
We got a rancid egg. We got this journal. We got a map. And I think we got
A shop.
Yeah, and the shop had money and the charm.
Yes. The move while healing charm.
Yeah. And otherwise, that's it. Did I look into what Fragile Greed would have been?
This is unfortunately not something I can Google for you.
It is not. I'm just going to quickly look into that, and then after checking that, we're going to take that break you mentioned. Because, yeah, if I did look into it, I forgot to write it down. So, yeah, if I equip Fragile Greed and I go to our lovely lady friend over here at the circus. Mask Shard. Worth writing down, but yeah. Circus equals Mask Shard. Yeah. There we go. And rest. Alright, we'll be back in just a couple minutes. We're just gonna stretch, cycle our fluids. We recommend you do the same. We're not doctors, but we have it on good authority that they do recommend this kind of activity every once in a while. Stay tuned for more Hollow Knight right after this.
Bye-bye.
And welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a good cycling of your fluids. You know, we do like to set a good example around here. And over the course of my fluid cycling, I have thought of a couple more places to go. There was one in particular that I was sort of racking my brain around in the back of my head, and you saw it earlier when we sort of dipped into Green Path. Because I kept thinking to myself, I swear we found, like, a way to get into Queen's Gardens, right? And I feel like we can do that. We just need to come at it from someplace that isn't Green Path, because getting to it from Green Path requires a shadow dash we don't have. But what we can do is try and maybe get there through Fog Canyon.
You want to hear a funny gaming-related fog story? Speaking of Fog Canyon.
Go for it, yeah.
Okay, so not even much of a story, honestly. I'm not going to undercut myself too much here. So Pokemon Diamond and Pearl are regarded as some of the, they're real fan favorites. So it was a real pity when the remakes weren't very good.
Yeah.
But it is a source of one of the most embarrassing hidden machines in the franchise's history, in my opinion. For those of you who don't know what hidden machines are in Pokemon, just in case, they're moves you can use in the overworld, basically, that you can teach to your Pokemon and solve, you can cut down trees, you can push aside large boulders.
They're the Metroidvania component.
Yeah. This game introduced defog, and it's like Flash, but worse, basically. Go to an area where it is foggy, and you use defog, and now it is no longer foggy. What a concept.
I know, it's revolutionary. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, this is us coming in here from up top, and then we need to stick to the left-hand side. There we go.
What's this even do?
Here we go. This is the pathway that I thought started in Green Path. No, it's not. This is the path. Okay, I've gotten myself turned around. This is what I get for not cheating and not looking up a map beforehand.
I was about to say, this does very much look like Green Path.
Well, it looking like Green Path checks out because the Queen's Gardens look very similar to Green Path. But no, this is the Shadow Gate that I was talking about earlier. So Green Path.
Just had a dash for it.
Yeah, so Green Path is the way to go on this one. Here we go. Yeah. If we go right from there, that will get us there. If I'm remembering correctly. No, because that would also... that would also be blocked up by thorns. Okay, so, go ahead.
I find the Pokemon franchise fascinating as a... I should say game series here, because I'm disregarding the TV show and stuff for a second, as just an interesting example of iterative design. How, every game, they try to introduce, a new gimmick, and sometimes they stick around, and sometimes they don't. In Pokemon X and Y, one of my favorites, they introduced affection as separate from friendship, which basically only existed for Sylveon. I think there was other things you could do with it, but that was the main thing. And that was Sir not appearing anymore in this franchise after that. The evolution condition for Sylveon then became evolved with high friendship while knowing a fairy-type move.
Which is probably a lot more tidy, to be fair.
Yeah. And you've got a similar example in Ruby and Sapphire, Generation 3, and Emerald extension, of the Pokemon contests, where you would use berries to make Pokeblocks to upgrade your Pokemon's contest powers, or contest stats. Beauty. You would enter them into contests and stuff, and you would get rewards for doing the contest. And they made it an evolution gimmick for Feebas, which was just incredibly rude. Because Feebas in that game is very annoying to get. And you could only evolve it into its evolution that I definitely remember the name of if it had a high beauty stat. So not only did you have to go through the entire annoying process of catching a Feebas, which involves like paying attention to what like the phrase of the day is on like one of the island with the fighting gym, and then find the 5 squares in the one lake where Feebas will show up.
Yikes.
Which changes every day, because of course it does.
Of course it does.
But then you also have to catch like 5 of them, or you have to catch multiples just in case you get one with a nature that means its beauty stat doesn't like physically go high enough to evolve it into melodic or melodic.
For the record, this, from here on out, is, I think, new territory for us, because ever since getting the swim power, I don't think I've gone this way. I'm willing to be wrong about that, but I think that's correct. We've gone sort of below this area, but not through here. And that's very relevant, because if I'm remembering correctly, well, I don't need to remember correctly, we saw the papers earlier, Cornifer should be in this direction. And that means something to buy, hopefully.
If I'm honest, the one like gimmick that I wish they would bring back is from, I think it was Black and White. It was the regional Pokedex, which was you could divide the Pokedex by.
Here we go. New check. What do we got? Quick Slash. Not the most helpful thing in the world, but we'll take it.
You could divide your Pokedex entries up by like what area you were, and you could like see what Pokemon were in the area, what you still had to catch. You wouldn't have to just do it like numerically or alphabetically. I thought it was very useful.
Yeah, Quick Slash, it's a charm, does what it says on the tin, pretty much what you expect, lets you attack much more quickly. I rarely use it myself, because there's usually better things to get, but...
The same production process as the Iron Throne, seemingly.
That did occur to me as well, yes. Right, that's just a bit of money in that chest, I believe. Actually, no, that might be legit. I don't want to risk it. We're too close to Cornifer. We can check it on the way back if necessary.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And I will say, like, at least Pokemon Legends ZA did. At least the Pokemon Legends games did bring that idea back in a way. Which is cool. These puffer bugs are a real pain in the butt, huh?
Actually, I think you'll find they're called... Hold on. They're called Whorp.
What a name.
Whorp.
Their name is also the sound they presumably made. it does raise the question, what is this a case of like nominative determinism?
I don't know. We'll need to ask whoever is, like, the Hellenist equivalent of Folo.
There's gotta be like a third-party D&D supplement that has a bunch of Hollow Knight monsters. I have ones downloaded for like Monster Hunter, Zelda, and Dark Souls.
Okay, so we've opened this door. That's good at least, because now it means we have a connection between the Royal Waterways and the Fungal Wastes. That is going to come in handy later on. If we go back in here, does the room repopulate at all? Narg.
Oh, you have to jump off the horns.
Well, I couldn't earlier because there was a... You can see those little spikes, like sort of right next to where it says spent. The little downward spikes. Yeah, that was a portcullis that was lowered, and it didn't raise until the last one was dead. So I couldn't have gotten there off of the whorps if I tried.
Okay.
And now there's no more whorps. So we did get here. We did open it up, but... Yeah, and this is a collapsible floor that requires coming in from above, unless that is also collapsible like this, but it is hard to make that jump while holding down the attack button. Alright.
Doesn't look like it.
And I don't have a way to die here anymore, so I can't try and ghosty trick this. And there isn't anything else, like... No, okay. Is there a background element after I could pogo? Oh. Nothing that actually gives me a bounce. Okay. Alright. Let's check the way back, because like I mentioned, I think there is some stuff here. I just wanted to get to go first.
I gotta say, the weird controller positioning you have to do in some games. It does make me very happy to have a controller with back buttons these days. For those of you who watched the Luigi's Mansion playthrough, and if you didn't, you can do so at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Gamepodular Streams Highlights. Will know that I pretty quickly mapped the Nintendo Switch Pro controller, one of the back buttons, to also be the B button, so that I could play the game without holding my hand in a weird claw position.
Alright, so yeah, we've been through here. And I'm like 99% sure we've been down here on our way to get, like, what would normally be a rancid egg. Yeah, yeah, okay. So, waterways accounted for. That leaves one other, like, it is still possible that I can get to Queen's Gardens from Green Path. I'm going to be entirely honest, I have that map a little scrambled up in my head in a moment, but there is another thing we can do in Green Path, I think. That would be very, very nice if we could make it work. There we go. Yeah, this jump right here, currently undoable because I don't have the right mantis, well, the left mantis claw, I should say. But if we can do a ghosty jump here, and I can get across, that opens up a fair number of checks, actually.
It is one of the fun oddities of the English language that right means both correct and the opposite of left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never found a good explanation for it. I guess it just sort of came out of left field.
Boo. You had no right to make that joke.
Hold on, I think I need to recenter myself a little bit here. Yeah, this way, Thank you. Good, Ghosty. Yeah, okay, coming in from the top, that's fine. Yeah.
Does the ghosty have all of the same spells you do?
He does. Just one up there, if you could. Be careful. He's only got, I think, 4 hit points worth at the moment, so really got to make that last.
Another great example of...
Not quite, but
so close.
Yeah, that's definitely doable. We're gonna work on this one, yeah.
Another example of why upgrading your nail very early is generally not a good idea.
Yep, ghosty skips are an important tool in our toolkit. And they will be so much harder because I want to say your ghosty does actually get tougher over the course of the game, but I cannot for the life of me remember what metric determines that.
Are you curious enough for me to look it up?
Here we go. Ghosty is back, got the money back, made the jump. Which means time for a boss fight.
It's a shambling mound from Dungeons and Dragons.
The massive moss charger. Okay, I wanna... Okay, yeah, that works. Come at me from that direction if you could. Ow.
What did we just say?
It's... Yeah, that works. Just gotta play it slow. Be careful, be conservative. Because I can't attack to the right.
Yeah. You've developed a good rhythm.
Back to full health. What did I just say? There we go.
Yeah.
Crossroads step. That doesn't get us anywhere in particular. We've already been to that stack station, already got everything, but it's shrinking the pool of options that are left. So it's making it more likely that future checks are going to be something actually worthwhile.
Yeah.
I'm not coping, you are.
I heard you're a grub.
No, that wasn't the grubs. That was a little moss friends
Okay.
that just popped out. It's a similar sound, I grant you, but it is distinct. Jump, jump. Grab a bunch of money.
Again, not to make this stream too much about wrestling, but I did see a Tumblr post earlier today by someone who was seemingly not a wrestling fan, but was talking about sleeveless turtlenecks.
So, of course, Christian Cage comes up.
Yes.
National treasure of every nation, Christian Cage.
The most important fashion icon of our time.
Mask charge, sure. Simple key. Okay, that opens up one place. Well, it could open up two places, but one of those places I know we can't reach right now. So okay, that has opened up a place that we can use. And I think there's still... Yeah, we're not quite done here yet.
It's gonna be a real kick to the teeth if we like get this far and it's just like acid swimming or something.
I'll gladly take acid swimming. Acid swimming would open up so much right now. You have no idea.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah. Acid swimming is like one of the main things holding us back at the moment.
Then you're right. I did indeed have no idea.
Yeah, let's go cash in that simple key that we got. Because, yeah, if I'm remembering correctly, there are 4 simple keys in the entire game for 4 blocks. And you can use any of those keys for any of those locks. One of them is in Dartmouth. Well, one of the locks is in Dartmouth, and it opens up the way to Gigi. We've already used that. One of them is in City of Tears, and it opens up the way to the Royal Waterways. One of them is in the Royal Waterways, and it opens up the route to endgame content. And one of them is over here, in this street, which I think I need to enter from the upper level of King's Station, because I know I can get up here by the looks of it. And if I can't, then I can always just go here from... Yeah, okay. Looks like I'll need to do King's Station from the top, which might require that I warp back. I don't know what, we can... I guess we'll get up here, yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with warping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, gotta make that jump. Get across here. Yep, there we go.
Goodbye.
Yeah, that boy had a very big, like, I believe in a thing called love energy. Just like... this door we've opened up. Here we go. Here we go. Inspect. A door with a simple lock.
Ooh.
Songstress Marissa, a voice to ease all burdens and still all troubled minds.
Like a lot of things in this game, that's neat, but also slightly ominous.
Mm-hmm. That's a fair description, I think. yeah, we're gonna go all the way up. And then all the way down again, nice and manually, so we don't miss anything, because there's definitely some stuff around here.
Is she a salve for troubled times or opiate to the masses? Or both?
Marissa. Ding. Helena seal. Okay, that's money. Mhm. And a fella here. Oops, it's cannibalism. Scroink! You look pretty skinny. Very scrawny. That's the way to be, I reckon. Says the poggy thorax. Just look at me. Great big, juicy, fatty, oily, scrumptious bug. No wonder I'm so popular around here. Gross.
Scroink.
What a way to greet someone. How's it going, fellow gamers? Anybody here straight scroinking it?
I've taken to only scroinking on the weekends.
I feel like the kids today don't appreciate the value of a good scroink. Alright. Lifeblood core. Alright, that's another charm. Isn't really gonna... Actually, no. This is gonna contribute to us getting a check later on. So, you know.
Nice.
Because there's a door in this game that only opens if you have a stupid number of health points. As in literally more than you can ever get through mask shards. You need to use the sort of temporary blue health points in order to get there. And this charm helps a lot with that, so...
Also, Scroink does sound like the street name for like a drug on a really bad cop show.
It doesn't even have to be that bad. I can believe that iced tea is heard of Scroink.
Yeah, like I said, a really bad cop show.
Hey Marissa, welcome to my stage, little one. I am Marissa, a songstress of some renown, though given the sorry state of this place, you may find it hard to believe. Huge crowds once flocked to hear me sing. Then something changed. The audience, once so enwrapped, began to leave. I continued to sing, yet my voice fell silent upon their ears. Perhaps you'd care to listen to me sing. You'll be the first in an age to hear it. Yep. This isn't a check. It's just... I like this. I like this so much. It's just a little cozy spot. I was talking with someone just a few days ago about like our favorite cozy spots in video games. You know, the places that we are very fond of because they're just nice and chill and feel a little bit sort of secret. And this is one of them. You can just sit here as long as you want, listening to a pretty butterfly sing a song.
I was definitely expecting this to be a boss fight, for the record.
Oh god, no. No, no. I don't think there's a single, like, enemy who is a butterfly, now that I think about it. I'm willing to be wrong about that, but okay. We also have a hot springs. And a bench. And... an elevator shaft. Which... is actually maybe relevant.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The real question is getting up here, whether or not there's going to be a shelf. If there's a shelf, then I'm... yeah, okay, that's a shelf. I can't make that. Dag nabbit. But okay.
Bummer.
But okay.
I think you are going to hit spikes at some point, right?
Yep. But we're alright. Okay. So, let's... yeah, now we're back in the resting grounds. This is a breakable wall, but I can't break it from this side. So, no go there. That's Blue Lake.
I am now mentally playing like a voice line in my head of Ice-T saying, "The kids are using this new thing called Skroink." It's like if ecstasy and MDMA had a baby.
There we go. Open up a shortcut. Not gonna get us anywhere new, but it was bugging me that we hadn't gone that yet. Resting grounds, like the bit above us, does connect to Crystal Peak, and I would love to be able to get into Crystal Peak, but unfortunately that is a one-way connection. Like, you drop down into here from Crystal Peak. There's no getting around that. Spirit's Glade, we still can't do anything there. Blue Lake. There are checks in Blue Lake. Well, there's a check in Blue Lake. And I know I haven't gotten it yet because it involves crossing a big gap. And I don't know that I can. I can't cross that. We can check in on the stack station, see if there's any stops I might have overlooked. Also, I'm like 99% sure I've already gotten this one, but just in case.
Doesn't hurt to check.
Exactly. Alright, yeah, we've gotten this. There we go.
I'm trying to think of my like favorite cozy spots. Does the you mentioned secret? Does that like?
It's not a hard
that
criteria,
necessity?
but
Yeah,
it feels secret. That's good enough.
because like the one like cozy spot I always really liked was just your room in Celiana in Monster Hunter World Iceborne.
It's a nice one, yeah. It's got a little hot spring.
Yeah.
Okay.
The room in Monster Hunter Rise was a real step back.
I'm gonna, while I'm here, I'm gonna check in to see how much essence we need in order to get into the White Palace. Because, yeah, downward dash is a major roadblock at the moment. We need to get it. We need essence to get it. How much do we need? 2,400. Okay, that's a lot.
Ooh. Yeah.
And I've already gotten all the other rewards for essence. Grub, Human Flame. Okay.
Because we're at what? 1,300 was it?
Yeah, I believe so. 1,360. Yeah.
Still got a ways to go then.
Yeah. Okay. Corner for waterways not possible. Let's see if I can get into Queen's Gardens from Fog Canyon. And in fact, yeah, I am just gonna like. There's playing nice, and then there is wasting the audience's time. So I'm just gonna pull up a map real quick to see like which bit of green path I need in order to get to Queen's Gardens.
Yeah.
Because yeah, getting there from Fog Canyon, you hit the Shadow Gate. We don't want that. Okay. The bit that connects is the place we were at earlier, right behind the massive moss charger. And that did eventually result in a tall wall on the left-hand side that I can't climb over. So right now,
Yes.
that's a no-go. So...
Okay. So.
But okay, we saw that using the ghosty skip did work in Green Pass, so that theory is sound if we can find good places to apply it.
Yeah. Is there still a dark area that we could try now that we have both the health increasing and the temporary hit points charm?
There are, but yeah, there are two of those. One of them is in Deep Nest, one of them is on the Howling Cliffs.
Yeah. Like, I know we keep saying that, like, you trying that over and over again isn't good TV, as it were, but, like, they're gonna have to happen at some point, and maybe, like, maybe the randomizer was particularly rude and put the lantern in one of them, you know?
It's not impossible, it's just, yeah, rude, as you say. Okay, we know I can't ghosty skip that one bit in Green Path past Hornet, so that is out. Ghosty skipping in Kingdom's Edge is very hard, borderline impossible. Royal Waterways by this point cleared up pretty thoroughly. What was the thing we ran into there? Sorry, I'm looking at the map in this bad form. Let me grab the actual map here. Yeah, we made it up to Soul Sanctum, which had two bits on the side. Right, there was the bit past the boss that we couldn't get to. And then that loop, yeah, which is, that's up here. Couldn't get past that because I can't left Mantis Claw, and then there was the bit here on the right, which I can't do either because I don't have the Mantis Claw. And then there's the bit up here, which... that's worth revisiting, I think. This ghosty skip here in the city. Because that was pretty doable from where I was standing, so... yeah.
Are there ways to, like, grind essence in this game? No, right?
Theoretically there is, because every once in a while you'll randomly get like 1 or 2 essence from an enemy kill. But that's mostly there like to ensure you can never run out. Because there's a fast travel mechanic that involves spending essence, and the game has to ensure that you can't go to literally 0. But unfortunately, no, there isn't really a way to grind it. You mainly just get it from the trees, which have been randomized, and bosses that are accessible from the dream world, which are also randomized. So, yeah. But yeah, let's get to the city and try that ghosty skip one more time. Because it has potential, like... I think it's doable with a little bit of patience, a little bit of luck. Yeah, sir, thank you. Okay, there.
And 5% pleasure and 50% pain. And 100% reason to remember the name. There we go.
Look at you remembering rap music.
Yep. I sure have listened to Anne Fort Minor song, and it's that one.
do have to make sure that I set myself up to die in the right place. Here we go. Excellent. That should do it.
Speaking of music, I am continuing my slow process of becoming a country music fan. I did listen to Ella Langley's 2024 album. It's very good. I can see why people like her so much and why she's doing like actually well at the moment.
Ooh.
Like, if I'm not misremembering, Taught in the Shadows as Blue Sky Posts, I think Choose in Texas was, like, #1 on the charts.
He gets pushed down when I smack him, which makes sense, but it kind of means I need to get him on the first try. Or better, like... I think this is doable, I just need to make sure I get it exactly right. Yeah.
It was #1 on the Spotify charts, at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the album that song is from is coming out in April. And I will be listening to it. Not to make it sound like my taste in music is extremely basic, but Noah Khan is also releasing an album in April that I will also be listening to.
I feel like you're kind of dissing Noah Khan by invoking the basic moniker there, but...
Yeah, he was on the Billboard Hot 100.
Ooh, I should
with multiple songs.
There we go. I still had that map open that I mentioned earlier, but I was like, I should probably just have OBS open so I can read the chat. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Here we go. Up.
Yes.
It is very high, to be fair.
Yeah. You were very close, though.
And he gets pushed down. He gets knocked down when I do that, so... Okay. I've tried using ghosty skips to get to Mantis Village. That turned out to be a no-go because the ghosty doesn't spawn in the right place.
Correct.
But... Yes, yeah, I have an idea. We're revisiting an idea I had earlier. What's the correct warp point here? Man, I am blanking hard on this. Start with Leg Eater and sort of find it out from there, because, yeah. Now that ghosty skips are back on the menu, as it were, I'm trying to think... We were trying to get into Deep Nest from Fog Canyon. Which, yeah, I need to be in... it's coming back to me now. I need to be in Queen Station for that. Yeah, we were trying to get... sorry, not from Fog Canyon, from the Fungal Wastes. There is a connection between the two you can fall in. And we tried getting there by, smacking boys into the right position, and we couldn't quite get there. I'm hoping that if we combine native enemies with a ghosty, we might be able to do it. This would just be a grub, so okay, I need to try and finagle anything here.
going back to what would probably be one of the stinkiest areas to visit in real life.
Depends on the fungus. Like, you know, most fungi don't taste like rotting corpses.
Yeah. But it would just, like... Because, you know, fungus, they thrive in, like...
Oh, yes. This.
The types of environment that most fungus thrive in. This place would just be, like, damp and mildewy and just smell like laundry that's been in the, like, that you forgot to put in the dryer, you know? Whoa, so close.
That's okay. We can just pop in and pop out.
Yes.
And he's back.
We've done this part before, I remember. But then there was another wall that we turned back.
Yeah, there was a second...
Get over that one?
Yeah, that second one was where we sort of struggled, and I'm now thinking if we can do this first one the old-fashioned way, and then the second one... Need a little more height on that, okay. And then the second one, using the ghosty. Which, don't get me wrong, that's a lot of setup, but...
Yeah.
Oh, come on, I should have gotten height off of that, and I don't know why I didn't. I think it's because I came in just a little too early from the side.
Yeah, and we've... The last time you were doing this, we did experience that you just don't get a lot of height off these in general.
Yeah, you get some, and I do need it, but yeah. Yeah, like that one was almost there. That was decent height. But yeah, you sort of got to clear... I know I'm talking about two species, neither of which have shoulders, but you sort of need to get, like, shoulder-to-shoulder height in order to get height off of them. Alright, here we go. So yeah, this is the place we couldn't clear.
Yes.
If I die here and set up a ghosty... Oh. Okay. That is finagleable, but it means I gotta come in here with, like... Yeah, I need to come in with 1 HP. And set this up without dying. Okay.
Oh, I'm getting nervous just watching this. So close. Hey, Saskra.
Yes.
Not to, like, do too much, like, behind-the-scenes stuff on stream, but I have noticed that we're almost at the top of the hour.
Yep.
Given that we are currently in a position that requires just a lot of, like, finagling and trial and error, do you want to go longer than 2 hours? Like, is that something you're interested in? Because, like, we mostly, like, the reason that me and Scott streaming for 2 hours is 2 hours is because that's like a clean cutoff point for me to have lunch and him to have dinner.
Yeah.
But considering we're in a different time slot right now, there's nothing in the rules that don't exist that says we have to necessarily stream for 2 hours today. You know, we can keep going if you want, but you are the one streaming, so it is up to you. I'm fine either way.
I think I want to try this a little bit longer, yeah, because... Let's grab this here. Or at the very least, I want to think about our options. Oh. Yeah, you know that big wall I mentioned in Green Path?
Yeah.
Ghosty would probably be a real good way to get past that. And it would be a lot less finagly than this, now that I mention it.
Okay, let's go to Green Path.
Yep. I need to get back to that one particular place again, so Stone Sanctuary, yep.
Though I will point out, and the reason I asked is we're currently 2 minutes to the top of the hour.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I have eyes on the clock. Don't worry. But
Excellent.
yeah, I would like to make some actual progress. We got like one check today that I would say constitutes technically progress. That being the simple key. But
Yes.
that didn't actually end up getting us anything else that constituted progress. It got us like 2 checks, and neither of those ended up being anything that, I guess, like, we got things that will eventually contribute to checks much later in the future. You know, eggs and the charm. But nothing actionable at the moment. And you know me, I'm all about action.
You're more about action than Andretti is.
Don't you dare compare me to him.
I'm comparing you favorably to Action Andretti.
That's not hard.
I suppose that's true. Hey, he's on Collision this week. For the first time in a while.
Not quite. That's okay, we'll just reset here. Yeah. For those who don't know who we're talking about, Action Andretti is a young wrestler working for AEW who is honestly, genuinely rather talented as an in-ring worker. It's just, he has impressively little personality, and he has a curly, short mullet that does not do him any favors. And the closest he's come to having a gimmick is being able to down an entire water bottle in 3 seconds.
Good. If you weren't going to bring it up, I definitely would. He's a hashtag Hydro homie.
Well, he has been proclaimed as such by the Hydro Homie community, which is not to say, you know what? I'll deal with it. I don't need my ghosty for this right this second. Actually, no, I do, because it's how I. Ah, dang it. Yeah, I need the ghosty as part of our plan for making progress, so I do need to get it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he was proclaimed a Hydro Homie by r/Hydro Homies, your one-stop shop for hydration. Hashtag not sponsored.
It did also remind me, you sent me a video like ages ago of like the Chinese guy who like drank like 4 bottles of various mysterious substances. You know, he like popped open the one bottle and like swirled it around and like whirlpooled it into his mouth. And there also were like raw eggs involved and stuff.
Yes.
It was
dude who looked like he wanted.
Yeah, that guy.
Who looked like he wanted to look like a gangster. Yeah.
He's apparently like kind of a big deal on like specifically Chinese social media.
Yeah.
And I can never remember his name. He has a lot of videos like that. He just seems like a chill dude who likes drinking.
Yeah. For those who haven't seen it, yeah, it's as you described. It's a dude pouring what seems to be a bottle of some kind of beer, a sip of Pepsi, a raw egg, some alcohol that's a high enough percentage that it straight up burns.
Something blue was in there as well.
Something blue. My theory is that it's something like WKD blue, but for all I know, it could have been a sports drink. And also something brown. Like, you pour something in from, like, a slightly fancy mug that looked like it might have been, like, a tea, maybe? I'm not sure. So yeah, all of these go into a single large bowl. I didn't think through the steps in this progress. I need my ghostie to get there, so I can't leave a ghostie there for me to use. Yeah, all the ingredients go into a single large bowl, and that includes the aforementioned raw egg. And he just slowly tips the entire bowl into his mouth, drinking all of it. Well, there's also just like an entire fried chicken directly in front of him.
Yeah.
Presumably to be eaten later. My favorite part of that video is the part where he shows off how cool he is by lighting the strong alcohol on fire, dipping his finger into the liquid so that it comes out coated in it and also on fire, and then uses that to light the cigarette that he then proceeds to take half a puff from before drinking.
Yeah. He's so good. Oh, God.
Alright, let's just actually retrieve the boost. There we go. And then that gets us into Fog Canyon, which... If you're wondering why I'm smacking them with the Dream Nail, it's to stock up on soul. Here we go.
For those of you who are curious, it's Pungzai is the guy's name. I'm desperately trying to find the actual video on his YouTube channel.
I have it saved locally, but obviously I can't,
yeah.
Can't do anything about that right this second. I thought there was another bit here in Fog Canyon. I thought there was a breakable wall. Ow.
Oh, I found the video. I think this version is way longer than the one you have. Because this video is 3.5 minutes long.
Yeah, I don't think mine is that long. Mine is like 90 seconds or thereabouts. Tumblr sized. You know how it is.
Sunny D.
That's good. Okay, can't get through here because we can't swim through acid.
For those of you who are looking for the video, I have just posted it in chat.
Mm-hmm. I think you can.
Yeah.
Alright, that's just a grub. Do we know what's in... Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Apologies for interrupting your train of thought, but we are going longer, so we should take a break.
That's fair, yeah. We'll be right back. We're probably going to go for somewhere between another half hour, 45 minutes. But before that, we will be taking one more break. So yes, everybody do some more stretching and hydrating, cycling of fluids, etc. We'll be right back. Hope you have a good one. Oh, sorry, what was that?
And watch this Pongzai video.
Yes, that'll be an excellent way to spend your time, I assure you. Once again, not sponsored. But hey, Pongzai, if you're out there and you're listening somehow, hit us up for a collab. Why not?
Hell yeah.
I'll eat raw eggs live on stream. What could go wrong? Bye-bye.
Adding that to the filler arc playlist.
And welcome back, everybody. Hope you had a good one. I have two things I want to look at that don't involve exploring dark spaces that'll kill us a bunch over and over. And after that, we're gonna go into dark spaces that'll kill us a bunch over and over.
Okay.
Option number
Yeah.
1. Go ahead.
I do have a Chinese alcohol-related story I haven't shared on stream yet before. You've heard this one, but the fine listeners at home have not. So, I used to live in China.
Mm-hmm.
It was a whole thing. And as one of the many things that that my family has left over from that time is a bottle of Chinese alcohol. It's a very nice looking bottle. We're never going to open it because it is I believe it's a spirit. It is some kind of liquor called Mao Tai, which is made from sorghum.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't sound too excited. It is apparently disgusting. My dad has had to have them for we have a business dinner with important clients, so you have to participate in the culture. And he still smelled like it, like he had one drink and still smelled like it 24 hours later. When I told you about this the first time, which I am now reading is 3 years ago already, oh god, I found an article from The Atlantic that had the following description for this stuff's flavor. Its taste is tough to describe. Imagine rotten cabbage, ethyl alcohol, and paint thinner blended and strained. It smells like ammonia. The Wikipedia page for Mao Tai notes its solvent and barnyard aromas. The taste lingers long after swallowing, shadowing the rest of the meal like a culinary revenant.
Excellent usage of the word revenant.
Yeah.
Alright, so... idea number 1, that was a bit of a bust. I was hoping there would be, I misremembered the location of one of the essence trees, so that ain't happening. Idea number 2 involves going back to the fungal wastes. What would be a good place for that? Probably Leg Eater. Yeah. We'll drop on down from Leg Eater. And you haven't, sneakily updated your shop in the meantime, right? No, okay. Alright, let's go. Because, yeah, once again, I'm thinking there's places we can get to here if we're lucky. Again, I'll gladly take swimming in acid. Swimming in acid would help so much in the fungal wastes. But here we go.
Yeah.
Go.
See, the reason that I brought it up is A, partially just I indeed didn't know, and B, it feels like, at least based on everything we have gone to, that you've been able to bypass the acid so that it didn't feel like it would open up a lot of new things. It would just make traversal a lot easier, which there's something to be said for that, obviously.
I can see how you'd think that, because that's how the water ended up playing out. This is just me double-checking something along the way. I'm not sure why it's still sparkling like that. I think we have done this boss fight and I have beaten it. Yeah. I just don't know why it still has the dream sparkle, but alright.
I mean, did you actually hit it with the nail there? It looked like you missed. Because if you haven't beaten that boss fight, that's a check.
It sure would be. Let's... I'm 90% sure that we have in fact done that boss fight. I'm not in a position to check without going through our own VOD at the moment, but yeah.
Yeah, and there are a number of those at this point.
Here we go. But yeah, I have possible idea here. Is this still the right way? This is... Okay, it is. We're heading towards Mantis Village, which is fine and good and dandy and all that, but we're going to take a little bit of a scenic route here. Actually, this leads to City of Tears. The way you're normally supposed to sort of get in there. And I don't have a dash, so this is effectively not doable. Yeah, okay, absolutely can't do that, and that's fine. We accounted for that part. I need to go deeper down, just a smidge.
That configuration of, like, the U-shaped gap is so classic Metroidvania.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's like, hey, have you gotten this ability yet?
Yeah. There's so many of those in, like, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. No, this is not quite wrong. This is too early. I need to go one lower down than this, if I'm remembering correctly. Though, speaking of Metroidvanias, I did want to ask you about something you posted about in the official Gamepodular Discord.
Yes.
Which you can join at this very link. About the movement in Bloodstained Ritual.
Yeah, which I have been playing lately.
Yeah. And I do agree with you. The movement in that game is very sluggish. How does it compare to... Because you've played a number of other, like, specifically Igavanians, right? You've at least played Symphony of the Night.
No, I have not.
No? You haven't? Oh, am I misremembering?
Yes. Like, I'm acquainted with the design of Igavanias because it's gone on to influence a couple other subgenres and things like that. Like, a good Souls-like tends to have sort of a component of Igavania design in that the most obvious way to progress through the story is probably not the ideal or quote-unquote true ending.
Gotcha. Because, like, if I'm thinking back to all of the Castlevania games I've played, I haven't finished a lot of them, but I have played a fair number of them, including Symphony of the Night. I do find that movement in those is, like, comparably sluggish to Bloodstained.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Iga himself was very keen to make it feel like one of his own, like, classic games, but now the way he wants to do it. TM.
Yeah. And it's interesting to think about it, right? Because, like, there are Metroidvanias, including Hollow Knight, that are so much more, like, movement and traversal focused. That have, like, way more options to be, like, acrobatic in a way that very classic, like, Iga, specifically Castlevania games just aren't.
Yeah,
and
like,
it's cool making that comparison.
Yeah, specifically that's just like, that is part of why the genre name is what it is. Like, Iga and Castlevania in general both made, like, important contributions to the Metroidvania genre, but they were building off of what came before, which was Super Metroid. And Metroid in general is more movement focused. Like, since day one, like, it's been, like, Castlevania tends to treat movement a lot of the time, and by extension, Bloodstained tends to treat movement kind of in a very utilitarian fashion, I would call it. It's very just like, you cannot go here.
That's weird.
Yeah, like, you cannot go here. You now have the bare minimum of what you need to get here. For the record, this jump is what originally got me killed. Like, this is the reason I was dead at the start of the stream, why I had my ghosty out. I was trying to be like, oh, I'll set up my ghosty here, and then I can jump across this gap. Turns out ghosty spawns way off over to the left past this jump in a way where it's just not doable. Yep. And yeah, cannot make this. Let's head on down to Breda, because theoretically ghosty might help with Breda.
Because, like, I bought the... It was one of the, like, remaster collections, the Castlevania... Not the advanced one, but the DS ones. With, Order of Ecclesia...
Minuet of Sorrow?
Aria of Sorrow, and the Paintings one. And I enjoyed Portrait of Ruin. That's the one. Right, yes. Aria of Sorrow is the GBA one. Dawn of Sorrow is the DS sequel.
Let's see. Can I get up there with Ghost? No, that's way too high. Like, Ghosty can get me places, but you do need to account for the, like, the distance that you are knocking Ghosty down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cornifer is also inaccessible.
I need to do some science here real quick. Like, I'm gonna go to a bench so I can change my charm loadout. Alright, this particular jump was very...
But the thing that...
I'll just warp to it. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. The thing that strikes me most about those Castlevania games, and just Castlevania games in general, is they're really hard. Like, it's... Maybe it's because there are, like, you know, stats and RPG elements and XP and stuff, but I often hit a point fairly early on where, like, I have the traversal abilities that mean that I can get where I need to go, but I just die to, like, the enemies or, like, a boss, and then I don't especially want to, like, grind levels, you know?
I get not wanting to. That's totally fair. But yeah, Iga specifically, for those who don't know, that's a long-time Castlevania lead director, Koji Igarashi. There we go. That's his full name.
Koji Igarashi.
Yeah. That's Iga, and so an Igavania is a Castlevania or Metroidvania style game, specifically the way he would design it. The way he does it, there is a strong RPG component to it, in the sense of you are expected to, like, get levels by grinding enemies for XP, or by, in the case of Bloodstained, like finding, finding and then cooking recipes that will increase your stats permanently.
Yeah.
The science I was doing earlier, by the way, is I was curious, the little summon spider fellows, I was wondering if I could pogo off of them, and answer is sadly no.
Unfortunate.
So, I have one last gambit before it's time to head into, like, just the darkness. But yeah. Briefly bringing it back to Bloodstained specifically. When I said that it felt sort of stiff, there's a couple components to that. Number one, to be fair, I can see where this problem comes from, but like, a lot of the combat feels stiff because a lot of the weapons, normally speaking, really only have one single attack with, like, two very minor variants. You know, you can attack while kneeling, or if you get your thumbstick pointed in exactly the right direction, you can do a diagonal downward attack, and that's about it. Most Metroidvanias I play have more extensive directional attacks and also combos.
Yeah.
And that is something I feel pretty keenly when I play Bloodstained, but I understand that this being a proper Igavania, it has hundreds more weapons than most Metroidvanias these days actually do.
Yeah.
Like, most entries in the genre these days will give you 1 to start, and then maybe 3 or 4 over the course of the game that will let you get to places you couldn't before, because they're going in a very Metroid kind of direction with it, where weapon equals progress. Iga never really did that. Like, different kinds of weapons almost never get you places. And so he adds loads of weapons like you would in a classic JRPG like Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine and valid, but it does mean the default attacks feel a bit limp and stiff. There are technically combos in the game. Like, you know, swing your joystick around, thumbstick around, so that you're like, start at the bottom, then you do a diagonal, then you go to the right, then you release, and then you hit the attack button. And
sounds like a giant pain in the butt, by the way you're describing it.
what I'm describing is theoretically not that different from just the inputs of a fairly normal fighting game.
Yeah.
But in the case of Bloodstained specifically, I'm just going to say it, the game is not well tuned to those kinds of inputs.
Yes.
It is very bad at detecting those kinds of inputs, which makes these combo moves hard to actually use in practice.
I know I bring this up basically every time we talk about Metroidvanias, and I do apologize for that, but God, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown has such a great, like, combat system and cool, like, combos and stuff.
Alright, here we go. This is what I was looking for. And it's going to take me a long time to get back here. But can I even see the far shore? No. Then, in that case, I shouldn't try to kill myself here, because that is not gonna work. Alright, we're gonna go to some dark places. Sorry, carry on.
And I just want to reiterate my recommendation of that game. Like, that game's so good, it's so fun, I think you'd like it.
I will absolutely check it out at some point, yes. Alright, do not need that, might need that. And actually, yeah, I do want to be able to heal if I can, so throw that in. Okay. That's as good a setup as we're gonna get here. I don't think any of these... No, okay.
I've also heard that, like, Shadow Labyrinth is, like, a surprisingly good Metroidvania.
Mm-hmm.
If you're familiar with that game.
Can't say that I am. Or maybe I've seen it, but I don't remember the name. that does happen to me a lot.
I'm pretty sure I've shown you the trailer, at least. It's the edgy Pac-Man Metroidvania.
I don't think you've shown me that trailer, because I feel like edgy Pac-Man should be ringing a bell, and it isn't.
Oh. Yeah. It was announced at the Game Awards, like, not last year's Game Awards, but like the year before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, it looks like, you know, kind of a messed up Metroid, like, you know, sort of like a dark sci-fi Metroidvania, and then a giant sticky goo Pac-Man shows up. as a character ability, and you're like, oh my god, what is this game? And I've heard it's actually quite fun. But the association of edgy Pac-Man has just kind of like ruined it for me.
Okay. Careful not to overshoot there. Yeah. Also, with regards to Bloodstained, one thing that did just bug me about the movement was the sheer actual speed of it. Your character moves too slow, and I can tell you exactly why that is. It's because they implemented 2 mechanics in the game to speed her up. And I think in a vacuum, not the worst idea. You give the player a movement speed that you're happy with, and then you give them a faster one if they prefer, sort of partway through the game as a way to speed it up for them as a convenience if they like. That's fine. Where I think they went wrong is implementing 2 different ways of achieving that. Because you can do it either from a book that you get from the library, or from a piece of equipment you can equip, a speed belt. And I think the fact that both of those are in the game kind of crippled the base movement speed, because both of those had to be accounted for in terms of the player's max speed. And so they docked from that both times. And I think if only one of them had been in there and your default speed had been as though you had one equipped but not both, game would have played a lot smoother, a lot cleaner. Again, this is something that Metroid does better than Castlevania, in my humble opinion. So close.
The thing that always gets me about games with multiple movement speeds like that is, genuinely, I can't remember the last time I played a game that wasn't like a very explicit stealth game, where I wasn't just like holding down the sprint button the whole time, you know? Like in an actual stealth game where like moving too quickly causes too much noise, yeah, obviously, that makes sense.
Okay, I know which way to go. I think there's something we can work with here. Yeah. But yeah, ultimately, like, I'm still enjoying myself plenty in Bloodstained, to be clear, but if you played compared to more modern Metroidvanias, 2 in particular that come to mind for me are Blasphemous and Rusted Moss.
Figured bring up Rusted Moss, yeah.
I loved Rusted Moss so much. Probably my favorite game of 2024. And not just because it has a trans protagonist. But here we go. Yeah, you compare it to those, and your average Igavania sort of becomes very nakedly numerical and systems-driven in terms of a lot of the gameplay and progression. I'm gonna warp and get my health back here, because there we go. And actually,
in general, I get the impression that based on everything you enjoy and the way you enjoy them, that you're a big fan of what's the word I'm looking for? Emergent gameplay?
I don't know that I would say that necessarily. I enjoy myself a very good story, and that is, I think, sort of where Iga shines. Like, Iga's lasting contributions to the genre are the idea that your choices do matter, and that you can have multiple different outcomes in the story if you're paying attention to what you're doing. And some of that can be emergent. Some of that is receiving instructions and disregarding them, as it were.
What I mean with emergent gameplay in this specific context is like games where there is not necessarily one exact way to do something, and if you don't do that, you can't do the thing. Like with the way Iga does like movement and progression.
Could you repeat that one more time for me?
It wasn't super clear. What I mean with emergent gameplay in this context is games where there isn't necessarily one specific correct way to do something and anything else doesn't work. Like how you previously described, like in a lot of Iga's Castlevania games, you have the like he uses platforming very
functionally.
Yeah, it's like you can either go here or you can't unless you have the right upgrade. Whereas in a game like Hollow Knight, if you're clever about using like bouncing off enemies and stuff, techniques that have allowed randomizers like this to be as interesting and cool as they are, you have more what I would describe as emergent things you can do.
So, two things. Number one, these are not designer-intended mechanics that I am using here. Like, what we are... things like pogoing off of enemies in order to get to places, that is never intended design in this game.
Yeah.
Two, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm saying I have much more frequently heard the term emergent gameplay used in a very different context. That being, you are, playing the game, doing your own thing, and then something comes along that changes your goal, that changes what you're planning on doing, because it is drawing your attention and the world is sort of dynamic. So things like emergent gameplay could be things like the random encounters on the Fallout 3 map, which are not like JRPG random encounters. Those are like discrete, like the game essentially, it has a deck of crafted, sometimes narrative, like encounters that it sort of randomizes, and it'll pull one for you as you travel across the world map. Or it can be things like you're stalking through the jungle in Far Cry, and whatever you're planning on has just changed because a cassowary is coming after you, and you're actually kind of losing the fight, and now you're running away, and you're going down a cliff you have never even explored before, and you're just hopping on a hang glider and go. Like, that's what I think of when I hear the term emergent gameplay. And it's certainly the way I've heard people use it more often. I should have some water. And also, I think we should probably actually wrap it up soon, because yeah, I'm gonna have to think on what else we can do here. Like, push comes to shove, we will just do this next stream, because I'm tired of us not finding anything else to really make progress with. But I am gonna hit the book some more and just really think of like what else is there to do. Are there any switches I haven't flipped yet with the Great Slash? Things like that. Are there any jumps that I can now make thanks to my wall jumping that I couldn't before? Is there anywhere I couldn't get to because of the swimming that I now can? Things like that. But yeah, I'll let you know how that goes. But if that doesn't, then next time, yeah, we're just doing more dark caves and hoping that it works out. But
before we go, I did want to finish the thought on emergent stuff, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
Because I'm doing a quick read-through of the Wikipedia page. The term emergent gameplay describes a wide variety of different scenarios that ultimately comes down to complex situations that emerge from the interaction of relatively simple game mechanics. And part of that is the creative solutions, which I am describing. Part of that is the emergent narrative, which is like the situation with the Far Cry and the tiger showing up and stuff that you were describing.
Mm-hmm.
And there is also unintentional emergence, which is using like glitches and physics quirks and the kind of stuff that you have to do in a Hollow Knight randomizer. So we are both correct.
Mm-hmm. The best kind of correct.
Exactly. I do love talking about this kind of game theory stuff because while I am not an expert, I do certainly love learning about it, and also I would describe myself as a lapsed academic, so I am at least have some sort of interest in analyzing media on this level.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's what I wanted to say before we called it.
Yeah, and call it we will. I'm going to, like I said, hit the books. I'm going to look into a couple things. I'm also going to check whether or not Elder Who's tombstone glitching out is a known bug or not, and if it is, what I could potentially do about it. But yeah, we're gonna sort that out. I hope everybody has had a good time today. I know I did, like, because we did find a bunch. I know we did find a bunch of stuff again, just like last time. It's just none of it really opened up new branches. Like
we sort of hit a wall.
Yeah,
in the big stuff.
Yeah, we planted a couple tiny seeds that all come to fruition much later, but that's about the most you could say. So next time is going to be a little bit of a make or break, and we will make or break if we have to. Stay tuned. You might get to watch me, slowly lose my sanity, or what's left of it. And that will be same time next week on right here, twitch.tv/Gamepodular. And of course, if you've enjoyed this and want to support us, check us out over on Ko-fi.com/Gamepodular or on Patreon.com/Gamepodular. Check out the podcasts as well at the URLs mentioned at the start of the stream. I am tired. And yeah, I hope you've all had a lovely day. Hyuga, thank you very much for co-hosting as always.
Yeah, I always have a great time. There is one more thing I wanted to mention. Mm-hmm. There is more Hollow Knight next week Sunday. That is correct. As a reminder, Scott and I are also streaming on Saturday at 10 a.m. GMT, and we're starting Dispatch, the supervillain rehabilitation Telltale-esque game.
Sorry,
it should be a lot of fun as well.
Could you repeat that one more time? Which patch?
Boo.
I could hear your nostrils flaring.
Yeah, the like sharp inhale of breath of, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
There is one more. Okay, I do want to tell you one more funny thing. So, there is a Magic the Gathering card that basically explicitly does that, like subverts that joke, because it is a creature that when it enters the battlefield, it does a naturalize or a disenchant. And it's called Witch Enchanter.
Mm-hmm. Is this a silver border card, or did they get away with it in black border?
Oh no, this is a black border card. It's from Modern Horizons 3, I think.
Ah, okay, yeah. The Modern Horizons sets do have a little bit more leeway, but yeah. Thank you so much, as always. I've been your host, Eskra. With me has been Hyoka. And we hope to see you again next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.